everybody, this is Robbie Parker, and I'm going to be doing my review for the 2002 movie Spider-Man. So this movie is directed by Sam Raimi, and in this movie, after being bitten by a genetically altered spider at Oscorp, nerdy but endearing high school student Peter Parker is endowed with amazing powers to become the superhero known as Spider-Man, and he must take on his first big villain, the Green Goblin. So, I absolutely love this movie. I have ever since I was a kid when this movie came out. I was 10 years old, well, 9 years old when it came out, but I didn't see it till I was 10 a few months later. And everything, I had turned 10 by the time it had hit VHS. And everything, so I didn't get to see it in the cinema when it first came out. And everything, unfortunately, one of my biggest regrets of my childhood. And everything as far as movies go. But this movie has been one of my all-time favorite movies ever since it first came out and everything. The story is engaging from start to finish, and everything is the classic, perfect origin story, superhero origin story, for sure. The characters are all very well written and perfectly cast. Tobey Maguire is absolutely amazing as Peter Parker. He is, to me, the best Spider-Man of all time. I love Tom Holland and stuff, but I definitely would say that Tobey Maguire is absolutely my favorite Spider-Man. He is just absolutely perfect in the role and everything. I really love Kirsten Dunst as Mary Jane Watson as well. I think that the chemistry between her and Tobey Maguire is really good and everything. And James Franco as Harry Osborn is great too. And the three of them make a really good trio, and they don't spend enough time together. I would have loved to see the characters interact more as a group and everything. We didn't really get that in this trilogy. And I think that they totally should have leaned into that, especially in the third movie and everything, when he loses memory and stuff. But they're kind of all separated in this movie. He has individual scenes with each of the characters and stuff. I would have liked to see them as a group a little bit more and everything. But I love all three of them, and they're great. Willem Dafoe is hands down one of the absolute best comic book movie villain castings of all time. He is just absolutely perfect as both Norman Osborn and the Green Goblin. I love the scene when Norman is talking in the mirror, or he's looking in the mirror and stuff, and he's talking as a Green Goblin when he's in the mirror, but when it gets back to his face, he's Norman and stuff, and having a full-blown conversation with himself. Willem Dafoe just carries that scene absolutely perfect. Some of the best acting in any superhero movie and everything, just perfect. Rosemary Harris and Cliff Robertson are really great as Aunt May and Uncle Ben and stuff too. I think they were very well, perfectly casted as well, especially Rosemary Harris. I just absolutely love her version of Aunt May. I think she's really loving and caring and just really likable and everything. And I think she gets some really good moments to shine in the second movie, and wasn't in the third movie enough. I'll talk about that when I get to that one, but I think she was great. And then of course you got J.K. Simmons as J. Jonah Jameson, another one of the greatest superhero movie castings of all time. He's just so great in that role. Absolutely perfect. Everything. In fact, he's so perfect that they decided just to keep him in the MCU and everything, and have a variant version of him played by J.K. Simmons, who still nails it to this day. Everything. He's just perfect. And no matter what they do with the version of the character, as long as he's playing the character, he nails it perfectly and everything. The action sequences are excellent in here too. I love the Unity Day Festival sequence especially. That's one of my favorite parts of the whole movie. As a kid, I always just loved that and everything. And it is a little corny and stuff, because you got the Green Goblin, after he gets defeated, he's like, oh, we'll meet again, Spider-Man, and just really corny dialogue that you definitely would never get in a movie nowadays. But it's just part of what I love about Sam Raimi and the writers of this movie. They knew what they were doing, and they made it campy and fun and everything. I miss when comic book movies were like that and stuff. The interactions between Spider-Man and the Green Goblin are also really great too. I love how, like, the Goblin is trying to get him to join sides, and when he says no and everything, that's when he goes all batshit crazy and stuff. It's really fun and everything. I love that too. And I love the costumes in this movie. The costumes for both Spider-Man and the Green Goblin are pretty good and everything. And Spider-Man's I really absolutely love. I think it's one of the best superhero movie costumes of all time and everything. And I still stand by that. It never really changed throughout the trilogy and everything, except when he got the black suit. But I love his suit in this movie, especially. Everything. I think it looked the best in this one, and well, actually, really all three of them. It looked fine and everything. But this one, I think there's just something about it. I don't know why it looks really great and everything, and maybe it's also the nostalgia. But the Green Goblin's costume, I'm kind of mixed on. I don't think he really necessarily needed the mask. Willem Dafoe was just so creepy and stuff that he really didn't have to put a mask on him and everything. It kind of took away from his expressions and stuff, like in that mirror scene and stuff. He changed his face so much, and when he's going back and forth as Norman and the Goblin, it just looked awesome. And I think if they would have had him in green paint and stuff, it would have looked really, really cool and everything. But I think they did a good enough job and everything. But I am kind of glad that they didn't have the mask in No Way Home throughout the whole movie. It was cool getting to see it for a minute and everything. But I'm glad he didn't have it all the way through the whole movie. It looked a lot better with just his face and stuff. The score in this movie by Danny Elfman is absolutely amazing. One of the greatest superhero movie scores of all time. And Danny Elfman is known for doing really great scores for other superhero movies as well. He did the iconic Batman score from the 80s and 90s. And he also did the awesome score for the underrated 2003 Hulk movie, which I might have to talk about that one here before too long. The song Hero by Nickelback is absolutely amazing. I love it. It's a great banger and everything. I adore that song. It is so great. I listen to it on repeat all the time. Still, I always have loved that song ever since this movie came out and everything. It's just really, really great song. Most of the visuals hold up really well. I will say that the only negative I have with this movie is that the CGI just has not aged very well. It looks like a PS2 game at times and stuff when he's swinging, especially when he's in the human spider costume and he's chasing down Uncle Ben's killer. It has not aged very well, and some of the other CGI towards the end of it hasn't aged super well. But I mean, for the most part, the visuals hold up really well. They use a lot of really great practical effects and stuff as well, and everything. So there's a lot that I really like in here, though. And everything. And there are some really good emotional moments too. Uncle Ben's death is really sad. It's been turned into a meme and everything, of course. And there's a lot of memes from this whole trilogy and everything. But and that's also part of what I think makes this movie hold up so well too. Is the impact it had on pop culture and everything. But I think that it had some really good emotional moments besides Uncle Ben's death and everything. Just some really good moments throughout the whole movie and everything, and then the ending and stuff where he's having to say no to Mary Jane and he rejects her after finally getting her to want him and stuff. Really sad and everything. And the upside down kiss scene, oh man, it's such an awesome scene. I've always loved that scene. I like to always say like it's one of the hottest kiss scenes in the entire history of the movie. In fact, if I were to do a list of favorite kiss scenes, that one would be easily number one, because there's not very many others that I think stand out like that one does and everything. And I love the humor here too. Sam Raimi brings this really campy style, brings the campiness to it and everything, and he goes overboard with it in the third movie, but the first two movies balance that campiness with the serious moments and stuff really, really well and everything. And this movie has some really awesome little funny moments and stuff and everything. I love, like, in the wrestling match when he's going against Bonesaw and stuff, and he's like up hiding in the top of the cage, and he's like, that's a nice suit, did your husband give it to you? A joke that totally would not work nowadays, but I've always thought that scene was really funny because it gets Bonesaw all worked up and everything, and it's fun watching him get all mad and stuff and everything, and it's a pretty cool scene. And there's also some really great quotable moments. Of course, with great power comes great responsibilities. One of the most iconic lines in superhero cinema and everything. And of course, another one of my, there's some other really great ones, like I Cried Like a Baby when he plays Cinderella. Not the best writing, I'm not gonna lie, but I always got a kick out of that part. And just so many really great ones and everything. And I love so many different moments throughout this movie. When he's fighting Green Goblin in the fire, the Thanksgiving scene, the iconic scene where he's on the ceiling and the blood falls on the floor, or drops to the floor, and the Goblin sees it, or Norman sees it, and that's when he realizes that Peter is Spider-Man and stuff. Really great stuff and everything. Just really, really great movie and everything. And I love the message of the movie, like how you should always do the right thing. It took a big influence on me. I always try to live by that and everything. And Spider-Man was really the hero that like I needed in my childhood. I had a rough childhood and everything, but Spider-Man was always one of the characters that I always looked up to and everything, and particularly this version, Tobey Maguire. He just really embodies like the type of person I want to be and stuff, and he's just really great and everything. I absolutely love this movie. It was a huge influence on me as a child and everything. I think it was a lot of people and everything. And the MCU and none of the superhero movies would be where they're at if it wasn't for this movie. Now, this isn't the first comic book movie that it wasn't even the first Marvel movie or anything, and it wasn't really the one that kicked off this era and everything that we're in nowadays. That I definitely credit that more to Blade or X-Men and everything. They're the ones that really kind of started it, but this is the movie that really got it going and everything, and it's just great and everything. And also, I feel like this is the movie that America needed after 9/11 and everything. It was affected heavily by 9/11 and stuff. They had to edit a lot of things throughout this movie and everything, with take out the Twin Towers and different scenes and stuff and everything. But I remember the marketing for this movie. There was a poster that you could see the Twin Towers in Spider-Man's eyes and stuff. That awesome poster that's really hard to find nowadays. And also the original teaser trailer where he catches the thieves in the helicopter and the web between the two towers. Awesome shot that it would have been awesome to see in the movie and everything. I kind of wish they wouldn't have taken them out, but at the same time, I completely understand why they had to at that time. There was no way they could have kept them in there. But I would love to see like a special edition that had them reinserted in there, just as a way to remember the towers and stuff. And 9/11 was such a horrible, horrible event and everything. And this movie is really what Americans needed at that time and everything. And I love the scene with the New Yorkers helping Spider-Man out when the Goblin is trying to tackle him and stuff. I love that scene too. Just really, really great character moments with New York being a character itself in this movie and everything. I love this movie. It's and everything. So all in all, I gotta say this is one of my absolute favorite movies of all time. I thought it would be a great way to first movie to review on my new channel and stuff. On my old one, I had a lot of different reasons why I decided to start all over again. Everything. If you're following me from Ogreboy 1992, welcome to my new channel. I'm happy to have you and everything. And thank you guys for watching my first review and everything. And this is just a really, really great movie and everything. It's had a huge impact on my life, and it still is one of my favorite movies of all time. So I'd go as far as to say that I give Spider-Man a 10 out of 10. It's a flawless movie. There is not anything about this movie that I think is really bad. Like I said, the biggest thing close to a flaw is the CGI, and even that doesn't really bother me because I understand that it was a movie from 28 years ago, so the CGI is gonna be a little wonky and everything. But for everything that it was trying to do, the swinging scenes and stuff, the special cams they made for the swinging scenes, awesome and everything. It's just really groundbreaking movie, and it's still amazing to this day. I have seen it in the cinema twice now. I got to see it for the first time last year, which was the greatest movie experience I've ever had in my entire life, going to the cinema. And then of course I would definitely say that seeing it again this weekend and stuff at an even better cinema and stuff was an even better experience and stuff in some ways and everything. But yeah, I absolutely love this movie. So anyway, let me know in the comments what you think of Spider-Man, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and have a good day, everybody.